.7 FM.
Welcome back to Radio 87.7 FM.
Your host here is Mustafa, and with me is Dr. Basil, and this program is going to be all about Syria Relief.
Syria had no serious humanitarian tragedies till the start of the current crisis, where we have about 2 million people internally displaced who left their homes because of the unrest, and there are at least 200,000 to 300,000 people in camps. With this gloomy picture, you add to it the difficulty for people who are still within their homes to find jobs and current income. In reality, at least 20 million Syrians are struggling at the moment.
We've decided to form Syria Relief because when the uprising started in Syria, people started to suffer. They ran out of basic supplies. So we thought, as Syrian people, we'd start sending aid.
Syria Relief has taken upon itself for 14 months now to work round the clock in providing relief, food, medicine and aid to those civilians affected by the events in Syria.
Hello, Mr. Majid, this is Fawaz Haffar, how are you? I am just calling to find out what is happening to the truck full of the clothing coming for the Syrian refugees. Today it consists of clothing, heavy clothing coming from various stores like Tesco and Sainsbury. Winter clothing, I would say, that ranges from children's garments to grown-up garments to keep them warm. Many of them are in refugees which are very close to desert areas and can get very, very cold at night.
We have really people in Syria that are basically telling us where all the assistance is needed and where all the needs should go. Without them, we would not be able to work and function properly. All of them are volunteers. They are putting their life basically at risk.
When the revolution started and Syria Relief established here in Manchester, we straight away, me and all the community, get involved. We have a very strong community. We are very active in doing events. We do craft, we make jams, everything to collect money from people and to send it to Syria.
We have managed to raise just over £1.5 million. We raise money through fundraising events. We use Facebook, Twitter and our website to raise money as well. Our fundraising events has different aspects. We've got the bazaar, like souk, where we had the traditional Syrian goods on sale. And I have to say here that the Syrian community has put a lot of effort in this, and they have helped because all the goods that are being sold, they've been donated.
The people of Syria at the moment, they're not receiving any serious help. People are looking after each other, but no matter how hard they do, they get to a stage where they really need external help. The money and aid that's filtering in is drop in the ocean.
I decided to go to Jordan to see Zatari camp because a lot of story about that camp. So I want to see it in my own eyes, and Syria Relief support me. It's huge, more than what I expected. I went to each family, I visit them, I talk to them, I knew what their problem, I write everything, and each family there have a different terrible story. Also, I saw how many kids affected mentally and physically in that camp. So those kids are our future. They need education. We are trying to open like small business like sewing business, catering business, hairdresser, for them to support themselves and try to build a future.
My name is Khalil Rahman. I'm the Chief Executive of Doctors Worldwide. We're an international medical charity. We've been advising Syria Relief, particularly the trustees, the best way to deliver health projects to help the people out there. And what people forget sometimes, I think, is that whilst they see all the bombing and they see all these graphic images on the TV, it's not just about the people that are sort of hurt in that way. The whole health system collapsed. So your normal person who might suddenly decide to go to the GP one day can't really do that. So there's all sorts of issues that go on below the surface. So what we try and do is together sit down and work out how best we can help the people out there. We're talking continuously with people on the ground, some of the medical staff, liaising with Syria Relief to understand how the project's being run, how medicines have been distributed, how many patients they've seen in a week, those sort of things. But it's not just about money, it's about technical expertise and support, and that's what we bring, and hope to continue to do so.
One of the early incidents that we experienced, one of the volunteers wanted to deliver loaves of bread into a besieged area, and the way to deliver bread at that time was youth will wrap the loaves of bread around their bodies, and middle of the night they will crawl, literally crawling for about half a mile to 3/4 of a mile. They get to the other side, they unpack the bread, and they crawl back in the middle of the night. One of them was caught by the security services, and what happened to him, they didn't kill him, but they did cut his fingers off, and they thread them and put them like a necklace around his neck as a message. Don't. So it is quite dangerous, but we have to deal with this situation. All emergencies revolve around the same issues. First is shelter, and then is food and water, and third is the medical support. One of our trustees was in Syria 3 weeks ago, and he brought some footage of the kind of water they're drinking at the moment. Water that you wouldn't be even washing your hands in this country.
We are in a warehouse in the area of Manchester, where we are packing medical equipment as well as clothes that have been generously donated by various donors.
This project actually lasted for almost 5 weeks. It is 11 ambulances and it is 3 vans taking basically all the humanitarian and medical equipment for the needy people.
We have anesthetic machines, we have surgical tables, we have x-ray machines as well, a couple of big x-ray machines. We also have smaller items, catheters and stitches and things like that. We also have some winter clothing and we do carry some quilts for winter.
My name is Zaina, and when we heard about the convoy of ambulance, we decided that we want to send an ambulance, the women and ladies of Manchester. So we organized a charity walk, and from that walk we were able to raise a couple of £1,000, but we still needed more. So, some of the children, were able to give us £250, which they raised in their own schools. Then after that, we were able to raise the full £5,000, which were required for one fully equipped emergency ambulance. When it's about saving lives, you find that people respond. So I had many women who'd come to me and say, do you still need money for that ambulance? We're ready to give you more.
All the drivers are volunteers. Yesterday they left their families, it was their holidays, they were working till late evening, and today, as you can see, all are mobilized. They will depart from Dover, going to France, then to Italy, Greece, and then obviously to Turkey. It will last almost 10 days. I'm not going myself, but some of my colleagues will be meeting the convoy in Turkey.
Yes, when they left Manchester, I wasn't in the UK. I traveled to Turkey. I was speechless because I could see the end and the results of the hard work that we did all as a team. We had to raise over £100,000 for this convoy to make it happen. So when I saw it approaching the Turkish-Syrian borders, I was so pleased because it was very successful. So we distributed aid in the affected villages. Also, I visited the camp at Atmi. There were about 10,000 people there. These people had no shelter. They were sleeping underneath the trees. They were suffering of depression. They were short of medicine. They were suffering of diarrhea. It was quite depressive.
They said on the news 3 million going to be without housing. It's going to be very, very hard.
The job is not finished. We still have a lot of work to do. We're trying our best to work with everyone. We have a great network inside Syria. We have got the motivation to move forward, and we just hope that the crisis will end soon.
I think on behalf of all volunteers like myself, it is only right that we thank the trustees, donors, supporters, and all who were involved for taking this trouble.
I would like to thank every individual in the UK and outside the UK who donated to Syria Relief. Their effort, their time, their money have made a big change in the life of many people inside Syria. But the work is not finished yet. We still need more and more support. As a charity, we are able to provide an evidence of our work. Every penny donated can make a difference.